So we're here at Biggs Flat, which is between Mylor and Echunga in a 750 mil rainfall area. This property belongs to Ian Mitchell and his wife. They've been long-term clients of Hills Farm Supplies, but not to the agronomy team. So we first saw this paddock in late July. It had been sprayed out, and Ian was looking for some fast-growing feed and some hay for later in the season. So we could have sown ryegrass and clover, which traditionally is what we might have done, but we thought we'd have a go at this particular crop, which is a spring silage blend of spring oats and Morgan peas. So the variety of oats is Quamby oats. When we first looked at this paddock in the last week of July, it looked very much like that paddock in the distance. Less than 1,000 kilos of dry matter, dominated by barley grass and ryegrass. So in the last 3 months, this is what we've grown here using about 120 kilograms of nitrogen. And whilst that was challenging for the grower at the start, he's thrilled to bits with this result. It will produce about 5 to 6 tonnes of dry matter in silage. It'll go into silage and to feed those animals. But if those animals had stayed on a paddock like the one just to the right, we would have been lucky to get 500 or 600 grams a day in growth rate. But feeding silage like this, we're able to turn a paddock that looked like that 3 months ago into something magnificent like this. And we'll certainly do that again for about 10% of the area of this farm. We've only had 75 to 100 mils of rainfall in this area this year. So where typically we might have 300 to 400 mils. So the crop at that rainfall would be probably twice the size and probably towards 8 to 10 tonne, maybe even 12 tonne. As always, cost is really important in any exercise on farm, particularly this one. And this is the first time in 20 years the grower has, of this particular property, has grown a crop like this. So it was quite challenging for him, understanding the costs associated with it. And overall, this is a really good example of what we would have had in this particular paddock, which is remnant ryegrass, capeweed, and some annual clovers. And of course, this crop of spring oats and peas. Overall cost about $500 a hectare with seed and fertiliser and sowing. So this crop goes 5 tonne at $300 a tonne. That's $1,500 with a return of investment about 3 to 1, which is acceptable in a really, really bad year like this. Whilst we've had a good result here this year, I just want to talk a little bit about what we're planning for the rest of the season and also for next year. So once this crop is taken off, we'll spray any regrowth for weed control. There hasn't been too many weed control options that we've been able to use in this crop, but because it was spring sown, we were able to get 2 or 3 really good knockdowns prior to sowing, so weed control has been pretty good. We'll control any weeds that emerge after we've removed the silage, and then next year we'll look to go into an Italian or a hybrid ryegrass early in the year with a couple of clovers to really bed this paddock down.